title of this tutorial is Personal Information, a Detailed Overview. The first thing I'd like to bring to your attention is our toolbar at the top of the screen. There is a separate tutorial that covers all aspects of the toolbar. That tutorial is titled About Our Toolbar and can be found on our YouTube channel titled WardrobeTools Software and Services. Because we've covered overviews of our toolbar in other module tutorials, we won't repeat ourselves here. Immediately below the toolbar is the Forms tab object. It will generally have a number of tabs and an occasional subtab object within a given tab. Tabs help to categorize and organize various features and processes of each module in an order of importance. The title of the first tab is About, found on the far left of the tab object. Because we've covered overviews of the About tab in other module tutorials, we won't repeat ourselves other than to state that there is a separate tutorial that covers all aspects of the About tab and its subtabs. That tutorial is titled The About tab and can be found on our YouTube channel titled WardrobeTools Software and Services. The next tab, titled Personal, with its 8 subtabs, is where most personal information is stored. The subtab titled Setup is where you will begin to set up the Personal Information module. The subtab titled General is self-evident in intent. It displays contact information from the Contacts module once that record has been created and associated to the Personal Information record. The subtab titled Medical is where you document medical and medicine history. The subtab titled Legal is where you document legal history. The subtab titled Preferences is where you document preferences for meals, travel, frequent flyer, and bank accounts. The subtab titled Passport Scan is where you can scan and insert a copy of the person's passport. The subtab titled Driver's License is where you can scan and insert a copy of the person's driver's license. The next subtab is titled On the Web. Here you find another subtab object with 3 subtabs. The first is titled Web URL Recommendations and Favorites. Here you can document a person's social media sites, favorite shopping sites, website recommendations, or anything else you feel is relevant or beneficial. To the left of each URL, you'll find a white button with a blue arrow. Clicking on it moves you to the subtab titled Web Viewer, where the selected URL is displayed within your WardrobeTools application. To the right of each URL, you'll also find a white button with a blue arrow. Clicking on this button opens your default web browser where the selected URL will be displayed. Also to the right of each URL, you'll find a white button with a red circle with a diagonal line through it. Clicking on it deletes the URL for that person. The second subtab is titled Web Viewer and is where the selected URLs are displayed within your WardrobeTools application. The third subtab is titled Web URL Value List and is where you can create selectable URLs so you don't have to retype the same link over and over again when you recommend it to many people. The next tab is titled Head and Body. It has 7 subtabs and is where you document a person's head and body attributes. The subtab titled Body Shape is where you can document body shape, skin, eye, hair color, as well as defining a color palette for each. The subtab titled Physical Detail is for documenting tattoos or body piercings. You can insert up to 3 photos for each category. We have provided fields for descriptions as well. The subtab titled Body Proportions is for documenting body proportions. By placing a marker at each point you want to define, you can then define a marker, define a measurement, and then add a note to each. You can define up to 24 body proportions or markers if you'd like. The 24 marker points give you great flexibility when defining a person's body. Use only the markers you need. There are two body views available on different subtabs. The first is a front view and the second is a side view. The marker, marker definition, measurement, and note fields are the same for both. We provide these two views to give you choices. The subtab titled Large Images of Head provides large displays of the three available face photo fields, which are front, left, and right. The next subtab is titled Large Images of Body and provides large displays of the three available body photo fields. Those are front, back, and side. The subtab titled Large Images of Tattoos provides large displays of the three available tattoo photo fields. The subtab titled Large Images of Piercings provides large displays of the three available body piercing photo fields. The next tab is titled Color. This tab is a display of the color palettes you create using our Color Palette tool. You can create an infinite amount of actual color palettes for wardrobe, hair, makeup, nails, or anything else you might need a color palette for. Our Color Palette tool has a selectable Pantone color swatch database, as well as allowing you multiple methods of creating your own colors and palettes. There is a separate tutorial that covers all aspects of the Color Palette tool. That tutorial is titled About Our Color Palette Tool and can be found on our YouTube channel titled WardrobeTools Software and Services. The tab titled Additional Images is where you can add additional images to support ideas and recommendations to the person. The subtab titled Set the Size of the Additional Images is where you can define the default size of the additional images. These values are shared with the default image size in inventory items as well as assemblies. That means that if you change them here, they will be used to scale images within the above mentioned modules. The next subtab is titled Create Additional Images. On the left quadrant of the screen, there are two face photos, front and left side, and two body photos, front and side, that originate from the Head and Body tab. On the top of the right quadrant is the button to create additional image records. Directly beneath that button is the display portal for the additional images. Use these additional images for anything you like. Some examples might be hairstyle and makeup ideas, complementary clothing styles or colors, celebrity photos that may serve as examples of what you are trying to convey. Let's face it, a picture says 1,000 words, so use this feature to your advantage. Within the Additional Images portal is a white navigation button with a blue arrow. When clicked on, it will produce a dialog window asking if you want to view the record clicked on or all the additional images for that person. To add an image, click on the button titled Click here to select and add an additional image. Clicking on this button opens up an Explorer window, allowing you to find and select an image from your hard drive. Once you select the image, it will be copied, embedded, and scaled to the size you defined as your default size. The next subtab is titled Edit Detail About Additional Images. On the left quadrant of the screen, there is one frontal face photo and two body photos, front and side. These are also displays of photos from the Head and Body tab. They are intended as a reference to the person selected. The right quadrant is home to the portal display of all additional images and some descriptor fields for adding detail. Within the Additional Images portal display, there is the same navigation button that functions in the exact same way as described above within the subtab titled Create Additional Images. You can delete an additional image record by clicking on the white button with the red circle and diagonal line within the portal record. The next subtab is titled Add Additional Images from the Internet. In an effort to facilitate grabbing pictures from the Internet to convey pictorial examples of ideas or recommendations, we have provided the following: an internal web viewer with selectable web URLs, and a Step 2 button to initiate the creation of an additional image record. Whether you choose the provided web viewer and selectable URLs to find and copy images to your clipboard, or prefer to use your default web browser to navigate to images, is of no consequence to the functionality provided in Step 2. What is critical is that you copy an image to your clipboard so that it can be pasted into the image field during the creation of an additional image. To copy an image to your clipboard, simply right-click on an image found within a web page and select Copy. The next subtab is titled View Additional Images. This subtab's design and purpose is the same as the subtab titled Add Additional Images. We provide it for close proximity to the Add Additional Images from the Internet. Just as an FYI, whether you select an image from your hard drive or copy it from the Internet, all additional images are stored and displayed in the same locations. The tab titled Notes is where you can add notes related to the selected person. The first subtab is titled Line Item Notes. Notice on the left quadrant of the screen there is one frontal face photo and two body photos, front and side views that originate from the Body Shape tab. The right quadrant allows you to create an infinite amount of line item notes for a person. Each note can be given a type, priority, status, category, subcategory, and more. When you really need to organize your notes in an orderly fashion, this is a tab that you will want to use. To create a line item note, click within the line item and begin to type. Use these notes for anything you like. Some examples of these notes use might be hairstyle and makeup ideas, complementary clothing styles or colors, likes and dislikes, specific clothing recommendations. Within the Line Item Note portal is a white navigation button with a blue arrow. When clicked on, it will produce a dialog window asking if you want to view the note clicked on or all the line item notes for that person. To delete a note, click on the white button with the red circle. The next subtab is titled General Notes. On the left quadrant of the screen there is a note field about the person. The center quadrant has a note field for notes from the person, and the right quadrant has a note field for notes to the person. Use these note fields independently or in conjunction with the line item notes. Perhaps one style works best for you. The tab titled Task is where you can create tasks related to the selected person. The subtab titled Task Not Completed displays all tasks not completed for this record. The subtab titled Task Completed displays all tasks completed for this person. The subtab titled All Tasks simply displays all associated tasks to this particular person. Within each task portal record is a white navigation button with a blue arrow. When clicked on, it will produce a dialog window asking if you want to view the task clicked on or all the tasks for that person. Sound familiar? You can create tasks on any of the three subtabs. You can delete a task by clicking on a button. I'm sure by now you know which one. The next tab is titled Questionnaires. There is no difference between an interview and a questionnaire from the perspective of our software. Some professions refer to these as interviews, while others use the term questionnaire. We have chosen the term questionnaire. The three subtabs below are displays of the questionnaires for a person. You can create a questionnaire on the fly from any of the three subtabs by filling out a record within the questionnaire portal found on any of the three subtabs. You can complete the questionnaire by clicking on our ubiquitous white navigation button with a blue arrow. When clicked on, it will produce a dialog window asking if you want to view the record clicked on or all questionnaires for the person. You can delete a questionnaire by clicking on the Delete button described previously. On our Toolbar tab titled Navigation, you find a button titled Jump to Questionnaires to create user or template questionnaires. When clicked on, you are taken to the Questionnaire Module menu. From the Module menu, you can choose to create, edit, or view details of the questionnaires, template questionnaires, or their respective questions. You will find all help topics related to questionnaires within the questionnaire module as well. As an aside, you can also navigate to the questionnaire module from the Utility Menu Center. The subtab titled Scheduled Questionnaires displays all questionnaires scheduled but not given to this person. The subtab titled Completed Questionnaires displays the person's completed questionnaires. The subtab titled All Questionnaires displays all questionnaires associated to the person. The next tab is titled Wardrobe, and it has 3 subtabs. The subtab titled Wardrobe Sizes is where you enter general wardrobe sizes for a person. These are obviously different than the seamstress type measurements documented on the Measurement and Alteration tab. The next subtab is titled Inventory Items and is a display of all inventory items assigned to that person. The last subtab is titled Assemblies, and it's a display of all assemblies assigned to this person. Within both the Item and Assembly display portals, you'll find our ubiquitous white navigation button with a blue arrow. When clicked on, it will open a window with a large display of the item or assembly as well as more detail. The next tab is titled Measurements and Alterations. Here again, you find a tab object with multiple sub-tabs where you document complete professional seamstress measurements for the selected person. Let's take a moment to look at the first sub-tab titled Female Front Top. This tab is divided into 3 quadrants. The left quadrant of any of these measurement sub-tabs displays an image of a mannequin-styled portion of the human body. The mannequin has overlaid measurement location pointers with numbers that correspond to the fields in the center quadrant titled Body Measurements. The right quadrant houses the body front photo of the currently selected person. This photo originates from the Head and Body tab. Since all of the rest of the sub-tabs for measurements are exact in function, I won't take the time to discuss each. The sub-tab titled Alterations has a portal display of all alterations and constructions related to the selected person. You can create an alteration and construction record within the portal by entering data in the first empty row. Within each record is our white navigation button with a blue arrow. Clicking on the button adjacent to the item image will navigate to that record within the Alteration and Construction module, where you can complete the alteration or construction record. The Measurements and Alterations tab is not a part of our Wardrobe Planner application. The next tab is titled Print Center. As stated in other module overviews, this is for everything related to printing. The last tab is titled Help. Here you will find the same subtab object with the same subtabs we have demonstrated in other tutorials. This concludes this tutorial. We hope that you found it informative.